Available for iOS and Android.
Right now at 5, changes coming in the requirements to get a high school diploma in Kansas.
And we've got a relatively calm start today. A few opportunities for thunderstorms today. Better chances Saturday. We'll take a look at that forecast, though, to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, an administrative shakeup leads to an interim president at the Fort Scott Community College.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we have been getting lucky, honestly, with the severe weather threat over the last couple of days. Right now up in Iowa, once again, several tornado warnings around the Des Moines area, just south of there. Just getting raked with severe weather again up to the north. Those folks in Iowa, our friends up there, definitely need our thoughts and prayers as they continue to deal with round after round of significant severe weather.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that significant threat will eventually shift into our area as we head into the weekend. As we get ready this morning, though, on this finally Friday here in the 4 states, Skywatch Storm Tracker is cleared locally. So here's what we're talking about up north. They've got strong to severe thunderstorms down across parts of Arkansas, but if we drag this up here, you can see where they've been continuing to deal with tornado warnings, just round after round of severe weather across the state of Iowa with almost no time in between to recover up there. So a lot of bad weather going on. Now, we do have a chance for strong to severe thunderstorms today. The worst of it should stay to our east. We're going to be on the edge of development out there. So we could see some strong to severe storms as we head late morning into the afternoon hours, but they're going to be isolated to widely scattered. A lot of us will remain dry, but they could pick up some intensity, but they'll be stronger, more severe as they head off to our east. Saturday, though, still an alert day now. We have an enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across almost the entire area. The primary concern as we head into Saturday night is going to be with straight line winds, but all hazards are possible. And then this elevated risk as we go into Sunday is there because we could see some lingering storms from Saturday night, Sunday morning, and we could see some redevelopment. They're expecting another significant severe event to our east, but we could be like today on the back edge of some of that development Sunday morning prior to noon. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Quick look outside, 73 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh. So we're back to those warm, muggy starts again. Temperatures around the region are all into the low to mid 70s out there. We are again very warm, unseasonably warm. Kids getting on the bus, we should be dry. 72, partly cloudy skies, breezy, south winds gusting to 25. We'll see those winds occasionally gusting to 30 out of the west later today. When the bus brings them home, some of those isolated storm chances. Still warm though, 79. So again, isolated to widely scattered thunderstorm chances as we roll through the morning into the afternoon and evening. Late evening, those chances go away and will clear out overnight tonight. Highs today just a little cooler than yesterday. Upper 70s, maybe some low 80s out there. We're going to break down the details on today's storm chances, Saturday's storm chances, and that severe threat here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Thanks, Chris. Well, for the first time in 2 decades, Kansas high schoolers will soon have new graduation requirements. The new requirements start this fall with the incoming class of 2028. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has those details.
Students are always thinking about the future, and that's the goal of it. The state is asking us to align their individual plan of study and the course requirements that they have throughout their tenure in high school.
Bexar Springs High School Principal Corey White believes the changes in the graduation requirements are positive for these students and also don't change too many things for this school.
We've had to move some things outside the school day. One would be driver's education, because we used to offer it during the school day. Now we're going to move that outside the school day to accommodate those changes. Been some minor things for us.
Columbus High School Principal Dan Grundy also believes the new requirements will be beneficial.
When you're looking at change, you're looking at growth. So I think that it can't all be bad. So I mean, there's a lot of components to this that I think will see improvement for kids.
Among the changes, high school seniors will now have to complete the free application for federal student aid. But there are options around that. Parents can file a waiver and superintendents can also make exceptions. The old requirements have been in place since 2005. Back then, the middle schoolers who are now going to high school and are going to be affected by the change were not even born.
Now we're trying to meet the needs of students. They may have lost some academia, if you will, when they're away from school. So now we're putting structures in school in place, to meet those needs that students come through now.
The number of credits to graduate remains the same, but some changes to credits were made. Instead of 4 credits of English language arts, for example, students will now need 3.5 credits of ELA and 1.5 credit of communication. The updated graduation requirements also include students' completion of at least 2 post-secondary assets.
I think the biggest impact for us as a school is just making sure how we check that these things are being done. A lot of our kids are having community service, playing sports, scoring well on academic areas, and we're just going to have to be able to document that all students are meeting 2 of those things.
Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
You can learn more about the new Kansas High School's graduation requirements and what it means for your students on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The city of Parsons, Kansas announced yesterday that it will no longer use City Hall as a storm shelter. The city says that's to ensure the safety of Parsons residents, as the building was not designed as a storm shelter, but as a fallout shelter. Based on FEMA recommendations, the building does not meet the minimum requirements. The city advises residents to seek another location for shelter. Fort Scott Community College yesterday named an interim president after Dr. Jason Kegler was placed on administrative leave earlier this week. The school's board of trustees has chosen Sarah Sutton, an FSCC grad who also has a master's degree in educational leadership from Pitt State. In a press release from FSCC, the college says, quote, "We are working as hard as we can for the future of our students, our employees, and our community," end quote. The school has not offered an explanation for Kegler's suspension. The city of Joplin says it's hired enough staff to open 2 public pools this year. Both the Schifferdecker and Cunningham Aquatic Centers will open next Friday, May 31st. They will both be open 7 days a week from 1 to 6 p.m. and 1 to 8 p.m. on Fridays. In recent years, the city has not been able to hire enough lifeguards to open multiple pools, but this year, things are different.
We increased our pay. We are also paying for the lifeguard certification and their uniforms. I think that was a huge part of getting more people. We also added 15-year-olds.
You can learn more about each pool's amenities and prices on our website. Well, some Seneca, Missouri students yesterday spent some time helping out the Seneca Cemetery. The students are part of FFA, and yesterday they planted American flags by graves of veterans to honor their sacrifice to keep our country safe.
What is that about?
This is just a good way for us to say thank you to the people that have served our country and put their lives on the line for us, and to show us how grateful we are for them and for what they've done for our country.
Well, believe it or not, FFA is a whole lot more than just the farming and the production side of it. There's the leadership side, citizenship side, and all that. And this one ties in with our citizenship committee, actually. And we try to teach our kids to give back to the community. The community does so much for us. We couldn't even list all of the things that they've done for us.
The flags will be on display until the 31st when the students return to pick them up. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, 6 of our local high schools from southeast Kansas make it to state in softball and baseball. Plus, the United States is renewing warnings for Americans to not travel to Venezuela. And we're tracking thunderstorms. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
This is Scott with Call Windows for Less.
Well, it's state tournament time for Kansas high school baseball. Colgan, Frontenac, and Pittsburgh all played in quarterfinals yesterday afternoon. Out to Manhattan on the campus of Kansas State. The Frontenac Raiders take the field against the Burlington Wildcats. In the first inning, Burlington strikes first as this ball is smashed into the gap and hits the wall. The Wildcats put 2 on the board. Burlington up 2-0 after the RBI double. Very next pitch, Mickey Carlson singles up the middle. Burlington scores another. They jump out to a 3-0 lead in the first inning. So we go to the second, and the Raiders respond. Peyton McDonald, bases loaded, sends one right back up the middle. Frontenac makes it interesting. Raiders trail 3-2. So we're going to jump ahead to the top of the 7th. Frontenac down 4-3. And Corbin Nix is going to send a heater into center field. That makes us tied 4-4. Raiders would then take the lead later in the inning off of a balk. To the bottom of the 7th, last chance for Burlington. It's a called strike 3, but Cal Turlip has time to pick it up and throw it to first for the final out. Frontenac wins a wild one. Raiders hang on for the 6-5 win and advance to the Final Four. 5A quarterfinals, Pittsburgh versus Salina South. We're tied at 1 in the bottom of the 7th. Weston Brink draws a walk and loads up the bases. Bases juiced, full count, 2 outs. Carson Nicholson hits a foul pop. Salina South corrals it, and we're going to extra innings. So we go to the 8th. Things get weird. In the pouring rain, Salina South lays down a perfectly placed bunt to score the go-ahead run. Last try for the Purple Dragons. Tucker Aikens sends one to the wall and left for a double, but he gets stranded there. Pittsburgh's season ends in the quarterfinals of the 5A state tournament. Purple Dragons lose to Salina South 5-3. In the Class 2 1A quarterfinals over in Great Bend, Colgan dominates Colony Crest 10-1. The Panthers will advance to the Final Four, where they'll play the number 1 seed Mission Valley. That game is scheduled for 1:15 this afternoon. Over in Missouri, Nevada's playoff run ends in the Class 4 quarterfinals. The Tigers fall to Blair Oaks 7-5. They finish the year 23-6 as district and sectional champs. And it was quarterfinal Thursday for Kansas High School softball as well. Fort Scott, Colgan, and Frontenac all in action. We're going to start with Fort Scott. The Tigers fall to Circle 7-1 in the quarterfinals. Just not their day. They finished the year, though, 20-6. Over in the 2-1A tournament, Colgan's softball season came to an end yesterday afternoon. The Panthers got the tying run on base in the final inning, but ultimately fall to Dexter Cedarvale 4-2. They finished the year 15-10 with a regional championship. In Topeka last night, Frontenac softball faces southeast of Saline in their state tournament. In the circle is Avery Johnson, and she did not disappoint. Johnson strikes out 10 hitters in the first 4 innings. She would go on to throw a complete game and finish with 14 total punch-outs. So we're going to go to the top of the 6th. Frontenac trails 2-1, but Johnson gets some good defense behind her as Ella Sullivan makes a nice play, catching a line drive at first base to get her team out of the inning. The Raiders' bats went cold for 6 innings, but in the bottom half of the 6th, Skylar Hutchinson hits a clutch 2-out RBI single, and that ties the game. It's 2-2 heading into the final inning. So in the bottom of the 7th, bases are loaded with 2 outs. Avery Johnson has a chance to be a hero. She hits this one to right field as the outfielders collide, can't make the play, and that's the ball game. Frontenac walks it off. Lady Raiders win 3-2 and advance to the Final Four in the Class 3A state tournament. Closing things out with collegiate summer baseball, the Joplin Outlaws begin their 2024 season on the road with a 10-6 win over the Sherman Shadowcats. These two play each other again tonight. Well, still to come, we're going to see why more Americans now use marijuana daily, versus alcohol. Plus, we're going to have a check of the 7-day forecast, those storm chances when we come back.
Greg Kelly.
Missouri.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Now 5:19 on this finally Friday. Right now, the Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear in our area, but that's expected to change over the next 2 or 3 hours. Severe weather up to our north, Iowa dealing with more tornado warnings up there. So those poor folks have just been getting hammered this week. And then down to our south, we've got some strong and severe thunderstorms, and we're expecting a little fill in on the gap with some isolated to widely scattered storms out there. And then we've got our alert day for Saturday. Severe thunderstorms late Saturday. It looks to be after 8 p.m. All hazards are possible, but this is looking to shape up as more of a damaging wind event. As for today is going to be similar to Sunday, and I'll get to all of that here in just a moment. We do have a low-end tornado risk on the southeastern part of our viewing area. We have a low to elevated hail risk, and we do have those hash marks for some very large hail, 2 inches in diameter possible. And then we have a low to elevated wind risk, but the elevated portion just barely clipping us. So there's a cold front that's going to be pushing in, and we're going to see isolated to widely scattered thunderstorms develop along that front. However, we're going to be on the initiation point. So some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe, but they're going to be isolated to widely scattered. A good portion of us may not see any activity at all, and they're expected to move quickly to our east, where a greater severe threat is for today. Then as we head into our Saturday, or 4-hour alert day, we have the elevated to enhanced risk, and that enhanced risk has been broadened. All severe hazards are possible tomorrow night, but again, the main threat looks to be with a line of storms that's going to develop to our west and bring the potential for some damaging straight line winds across the area. Sunday, we have a low to elevated risk, but Sunday's threat is similar to today. With the system exiting Saturday night, we could have a few lingering strong to severe storms in the morning, and we could see some brief redevelopment along the boundary in our area late Sunday morning, but it will exit quickly with, again, a greater severe threat off to our east, but that will be a possibility. So here we are at noon. Again, isolated to widely scattered showers and storms out there. Here's that boundary. You can see the wind shift line. And this is when we're going to see these storms start to kind of get organized, and a couple of those could be strong, potentially severe. But as you can see, not everybody's going to get showers and storms. Overnight tonight, we clear out, and the majority of our Saturday leading up to the storms is an absolutely beautiful day out there. Temperatures warm, mid-upper 80s, so it's going to be very warm. It's going to be muggy. And then by about 7, 8 o'clock, out to our west, those storms get going. By 9, they're rolling into our far western counties, and this is what we've got to watch, is this line of storms as it pushes through very late Saturday night into very early Sunday morning, and the worst of this should be out of here by about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then, as mentioned, we could see some brief redevelopment with some of those thunderstorms as we head into Sunday morning along that boundary as it exits, but anything we see, while it could be severe, will quickly exit the area. Right now in Joplin, we are clear. We are 73, south-southeast breeze at 9, but that dew point humidity both up there. There's that boundary off to our north and west. Temperatures around the region are in the low to mid 70s as we get the day underway, and keep in mind our average highs are in the upper 70s this time of year. Breezy, west winds gusting upwards of 30 at times, and we'll have those isolated scattered showers and storms through the morning, 75, and as we head into the afternoon again today, warm. We're going to be into the upper 70s, low 80s, so a little cooler than yesterday. We got the thunderstorms tomorrow, Sunday morning, and then Monday and Tuesday look pretty darn good out there. We get a chance to clear out, but take a look at the rest of next week. Scattered shower and thunderstorm chances return once again across the area, so another round of storms we'll have to keep an eye on. But again, today we'll be watching the storms. Tomorrow night, with it being Memorial Day, a lot of folks out, you have got to be weather aware, especially if you're going out for the weekend to the lake, if you're going out camping, because these storms are going to mean business tomorrow night. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
From the moment you call,
Passionate.
Quality, compassionate, affordable care.
Topping Health Watch this morning. More Americans now use marijuana daily more than alcohol. That's according to a new study. Researchers looked at data from 2022 from a U.S. national survey on drug use and health. 17.7 million people reported using cannabis daily or near daily compared to 14.7 million daily drinkers. That's a big difference from 3 decades ago when there were nearly 9 million people who reported drinking daily compared to less than 1 million who reported smoking pot each day. Researchers conclude marijuana use now appears to be on a fundamentally different scale. In northern Orange County, California, a couple held a heartfelt wedding ceremony inside a hospital chapel on Thursday. The extra special day was the bride's father's dying wish. He's battling cancer and wanted to accompany his daughter down the aisle. Michelle Guile was there at the ceremony.
I'm gonna try not to cry, that's for sure. But I'm just glad that he's gonna be able to live this moment, be able to walk me down. Because I know that's what he wants. He just wants me to be happy.
There were plenty of tears inside of the chapel at St. Joseph Hospital in Orange as the father of the bride, Abraham Arceo, was wheeled down the aisle next to his daughter, Brittany.
Very emotional. It's just been very hard lately, but we're just glad they were able to do this for us. It meant a lot to Brittany, to me, just wanted to make sure he was able to see her get married.
Please hold hands at this time.
For more than a year, Tustin's Abraham Arceo has been battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. His daughter's original wedding date is still weeks away, so Brittany Arceo talked to a nurse about making something happen sooner.
They were getting married at the end of June, and that the father's cancer was progressing very quickly, and he really wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle, and that was really important to Brittany. And so we decided that we could figure out a way to make it happen. So our facilities team even measured the door just in case we weren't able to use a wheelchair and we needed to use the hospital bed, that we could actually fit the hospital bed through the door as well.
The wheelchair was able to be used, and with a nurse pushing the IV stand with Arceo's medication and fluids, he made it to the altar.
He's honestly my hero, and I've always looked up to him ever since I was a little girl. So even with this battle, this new battle, like he just means so much to me.
Be husband and wife.
As the ceremony ended, a crowd of family members, nurses, doctors, and St. Joseph Hospital staff cheered and clapped for the newlyweds and for the bride's father, whose wish came true.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a nice start to the day so far. A few scattered showers and thunderstorms coming in this morning into the afternoon. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
For the full weekend event schedule, visit FortScottGoodOldDays.com.
Right now at 5:30, a dance routine by a group of 8th graders in Webb City goes viral.
And we are calm and clear for now, but we do have thunderstorm chances increasing through the morning. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center invites the public out to a native plant sale.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Snowe.
And I'm Chris Warner.
Yes, we have some breaking news for you this morning. The daughter of Missouri State Representative Ben Baker has been killed in Haiti. Natalie Lloyd and her husband Davy Lloyd were full-time missionaries in the country. Baker posted on Facebook that the couple was killed by gang members in Haiti yesterday evening.
Now, Haiti has been in a state of unrest since the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moise. At this time, it's unknown who is responsible for the deaths of Davy and Natalie Lloyd. And this is a developing story. We'll keep you up to date on here on the KOAM Morning News and on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Absolutely heartbreaking.
It certainly is. And of course, that violence down there has just been escalating across Haiti.
Yes, it has.
And just an unfortunate outcome that we're learning this morning. And we'll have more on that through the morning and on our website. We also have the risk for some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms today. And we have an alert day tomorrow for more severe weather across the area. Now, right now, Skywatch Storm Tracker is relatively clear. Got a couple of stray showers out here in Elk County. Again, our friends up in Iowa are just getting slammed with severe weather. More tornado warnings this morning. You can see a number of them as they roll through the Des Moines area, now pushing east of Des Moines. So definitely want to keep those folks and the new tornado warning you saw just popping up with some of these storms. Just a heartbreaking situation in Iowa as well. They've not had any time to recover. As for us, we do have a low to elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms today, but we are going to be right on the edge of this cold front that's pushing through. So these storms are going to be isolated to widely scattered out there. So not everybody will see storms, but the ones that do develop will have the opportunity to be strong to severe, and they're going to slide quickly off to our east where there's a greater severe threat later today. Tomorrow we have an enhanced risk for strong to severe storms across the area. This looks to be after 8 p.m. All hazards possible tomorrow, but damaging winds seem to be the primary concern with this. And we could have some lingering storms Sunday morning from this activity. And like today, Sunday, we're going to be on the edge of this boundary where we could see some redevelopment early in the morning before it quickly slides off to the east where the greater severe threat will be. We're at 73 in Joplin right now, 72 in Pittsburgh, and we've got a relatively clear start to the day. There's that boundary off to our north and west. Temperatures this morning in the low to mid 70s, so a relatively warm start for us, and keep in mind, our average highs are in the upper 70s, so we're not far from that right now at 5:30 in the morning. 72 when the kids get on the bus, partly cloudy, breezy, south winds gusting to 25. Those winds will shift out of the west later. Some isolated to scattered storms this afternoon, 79, and those west winds gusting occasionally upwards of 30 miles an hour. So again, for some of us, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures that much cooler than yesterday, upper 70s, low 80s out there. As we head into the evening, we'll actually clear out overnight, and the majority of our Saturday is relatively nice. It's going to be very warm, very muggy, but it'll be calm until we get into the evening hours. We're going to break down those thunderstorm chances for you in detail in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. The Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center invites the public out to a native plant sale. This Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. the center will make available for sale native plants for landscaping needs, as well as information about the benefits of planting native species. This event is free and open to the public.
Plants are really beneficial to people as well as wildlife, which is kind of why they're so special. They're really awesome for pollinators. They're great for, like I said, our wildlife here in the area, because they are plants that are here without being introduced or planted. So they're perfectly adapted to the climate that we have here in the state because they occur naturally.
This event is free and open to the public. 5th, 8th grade students in Webb City have gone viral on TikTok for their performance during the school's talent show. While we do not have permission to show you the post on TikTok, we do have video from that same performance. The original video posted now just past 5 million views and more than 800,000 likes. The boys say they were inspired to create the dance for their former math teacher, who they then pulled on stage during the performance and gave flowers to.
Even if they didn't like us and would have booed us, but we still were having fun together. That's all that matters.
Have fun.
And that's just the main thing.
Because we won't be able to do this next year.
Maybe. We don't know that.
I don't know. Hey, Project Grad, I don't care. I don't care, Project Grad. I'm squeezing my big boy butt into these pants and we're doing it again.
It's okay to step out of your comfort zone, because like they said, I made them try out for show choir and they were not happy. They were mad, but it was it's time for you to step out and it's okay to do that. And then them being comfortable enough to say, yeah, we'll do the talent show, we'll go out and do that, was pretty awesome.
We'll have more from the students and teachers when KOAM Morning News switches on over to Fox 14. Yesterday was World Turtle Day around the world, and what better way to mark the celebration in our area than with a trip to the Shoal Creek Conservation Center in Joplin. The center not only has its share of turtles, but answers to plenty of questions, such as why are so many turtles crossing the roads?
But if this situation allows where you can move that turtle across the road, yes, it's great to try to help that turtle across the road. It could be looking for it could be involved in courtship. It could be involved a female looking for a place to lay its eggs. It's just trying to move on to the next stage of its life. Not going to hurt you at all. Not going to hurt much of anything.
You can also head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for some more fun facts about turtles. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. More than 50 people remain hospitalized after a Singapore Airlines flight hit severe turbulence. Plus, Moscow's forces are amplifying military assaults across the country. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Topping World Watch, the United States is renewing warnings for Americans to not travel to Venezuela. The State Department is issuing a severe do not travel warning to the country because the U.S. will not be able to provide emergency services if a citizen is in trouble. The agency says civil unrest and Venezuela's slide toward dictatorship are factors for the warnings. The do not travel warning says violent crimes such as homicide, kidnapping, and carjacking are very common in Venezuela. The order also states if a U.S. citizen does decide to go to Venezuela, they should avoid the border with Colombia, have a valid Venezuelan visa, and draft a will before traveling. In Bangkok, more than 50 people remain hospitalized after a Singapore Airlines flight hit severe turbulence Tuesday, killing one passenger on board. In a news conference, the hospital's director, providing an update on those injured, said of the more than 100 treated, 6 suffered skull and brain injuries and several will need spine surgery. While the director said now that the patients in the ICU were in life-threatening condition, he did not rule out paralysis. A total of 20 people remain in intensive care in the hospital, says other local hospitals have been asked to lend their best specialists to assist with treatments. More than 2 years into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Moscow's forces are amplifying military assaults across the country, focusing recent attacks along the border. Correspondent Chanley Painter takes a closer look at the deadly destruction and why Ukraine's president is desperately seeking more fighting power.
Ukrainian officials say the situation is growing more dire as Russia continues ramping up attacks on depleted troops and communities along the country's borders. Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv falling victim to fresh missile assaults Thursday. Weapons striking this publishing house, killing and injuring multiple people.
It is absolutely civilian without any military objects here.
A kindergarten and a market in the same region were also slammed by Russian strikes earlier this week. Ukraine's power grid has also faced bombardment, the escalating conflict frustrating Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky.
Every time such attacks occur, we must openly say why this is still possible. It is only possible because Ukraine still has restrictions in its defense.
But Moscow is intensifying global concerns, recently conducting drill sessions with tactical nuclear weapons.
And seemed to be a warning to top Western officials against deepening military involvement in Ukraine. Unlike nuclear-tipped intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can destroy entire cities, tactical nuclear weapons are less powerful.
But even as Western aid trickles in, officials say much of Ukraine is outgunned.
It's the shortage of air defense systems. It's the lack of long-range capabilities for our warriors and the complete inability to destroy the very source of Russian terror.
The U.S. is expected to announce an extra $275 million in military aid to Ukraine Friday.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a new career with impressive pay and benefits?
Size iced coffee for $2.69. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 545 coming up on 546 on this Friday morning. Got a stray shower now in Chautauqua County. Seeing a few different thunderstorms developing across parts of north central Oklahoma. We are in between on this boundary here, and you can kind of trace where that goes back up into north central Missouri and in around the Iowa area. And again, Iowa, again, getting hammered with more severe weather, more tornado warnings up there as well. So what we're waiting for is to see what exactly manages to develop along this boundary in our area, because we could see some strong, potentially severe storms through the morning and early afternoon. So we have an alert day for Saturday, though. Severe thunderstorms possible, all hazards possible. Damaging winds look to be the most likely situation, and that's going to be as we head into Saturday night, late evening, overnight into Sunday morning. As for today, we do have a low tornado threat in our southeastern counties. We have a low to elevated hail threat with those hash marks indicating the possibility of very large hail, so 2 inches in diameter or larger. And we have a low to elevated wind risk, but that elevated portion just barely clipping our area out there. So here's what's going on. We'll use the multi-day severe weather threat to explain this here. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got that cold front coming into the area. It won't do a lot for our temperatures, but what we could see is thunderstorms, isolated to widely scattered, form along the boundary on that cold front. Those that do form will be in an environment where they could become strong to severe. However, they're expected to be isolated, very scattered. Not everybody will see thunderstorm activity, and it will slide off to our east pretty quickly, where there's a greater severe threat off to our east. Saturday, after 8, we have an enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the entire area just about. That's why we have the alert day. Now, all hazards are possible tomorrow, but the greater threat is with a line of storms that we're expecting to develop that could bring in some damaging straight line winds as we go late evening tomorrow into early Sunday morning. Sunday, we have a low to elevated risk on Sunday. The reason that's there is there's two good reasons. One, we could see some lingering activity from Saturday night. Two, similar to today, the boundary will be almost on top of us, and by mid-morning, late morning, we could see some additional redevelopment that will fire up quickly, could become severe, but will also exit the area quickly as well. So we'll have to watch all of that. As for the next about 24 hours, here's what we're looking at. Again, isolated to widely scattered storms through the morning and even into the noon hour. Then that boundary starts to trigger a few more showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. And really, it's this afternoon is the better threat. If these storms are going to intensify, it'll be by the afternoon hours. And they will slide off to our east. And by this evening, they are out of here, and we're clear overnight, and we're calm overnight. In fact, the majority of our Saturday until those storms get here is calm, clear. It is going to be warm, though. We're talking temperatures upper 80s and with heat index values potentially in the low 90s because it's going to be quite muggy ahead of these storms. By 5, we're still clear. By 9 o'clock, that line starting to enter our western counties out here by 9. So this is going to be a late night, overnight event. We move ahead to 11. Here's that line of thunderstorms out there. This is where our severe threat comes in, and this will continue to quickly race off to the east. And by 1 a.m., it's now in our far eastern counties, and then it'll be out of here. And then, again, through the early morning or mid-morning hours on Sunday, we could see some brief redevelopment of showers and storms out there that could be strong to severe Sunday before they quickly roll out of here as well. Quick look at temperatures. 73 in Joplin. It is clear. There's that boundary off to our west. And around the area, we are in the low to mid-70s. And keep in mind, our average highs are in the upper 70s. So Miami, Veneta Grove, for example, you're only about 3-4 degrees off our average high. Warm today, but not nearly as warm as yesterday. Upper 70s, low 80s. Again, mid-upper 80s Saturday, mid-80s on Sunday. We'll get a break in showers and storms Monday and Tuesday. And then the rest of next week, another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head Wednesday into the weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
A bike-riding city commuter has become a social media sensation after strapping a bunch of magnets to a trailer and freeing the streets of metal debris. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some ride bicycles with magnets in tow, clearing the streets of nails and other sharp tire tear and debris so others can be spared the use of their spares. Meet Alex Benigno, Atlanta's Magnet Man, part-time hero. Benigno was tired of flat tires on his bike route, so after designing a special magnet-toting trailer, he now spends his free time riding around the ATL, picking up as much errant metal as he can. A crapola clearing crusade, if you will. Benigno's selfless ways have earned him social media darling status, and he's even gotten requests from other cities, hoping he can net some flotsam and jetsam on their roads, and for good reason. In just 8 weeks, Benigno's unique system has picked up 410 pounds of metal refuse. That's got to be some kind of a record. Speaking of records, once again a small town in Texas was calling all Kyles to try and break the world record for the biggest same-name gathering ever. So did the city of Kyle do it? No. Despite piles of Kyles from miles around descending on the small town, the 706 Kyle count just wasn't enough. The 5th time Kyle has tried and failed at the town. Not this guy. Finally, here's a weird story I don't have a place for. After spending 15 years developing a special breed of red pineapple, Del Monte has sold out of its Ruby Glow specialty fruit in the U.S. despite a price of $400 a pineapple. Because it's 2024 and nothing makes sense anymore. To be fair, in the 1700s, pineapples were considered exotic and sometimes reportedly sold for what would be thousands. So, does that make you feel any better? Yeah, me neither. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That better be the most delicious pineapple you've ever tasted. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Ron's Supermarket is grilling and chilling this summer with fresh items from our meat and protein.
The newest lion cubs at the London Zoo get a visit from the vet for their first health checkup. Excuse me. 3 10-week-old cubs were checked and vaccinated by the zoo's veterinarian team. The little lions are already growing sharp claws and are said to have feisty personalities, so the team took turns keeping the cubs down as they had their checkups, which also confirmed their gender. The cubs are from the Asiatic lions group, an endangered species with 800 to 7 known lions still left in the wild. Data from the checkup will be added to an international breeding program as a backup for the endangered group. The image of a baseball legend previews a first of its kind Major League Baseball game. A giant Topps baseball card of pitcher Satchel Paige overlooks Buck O'Neill's Tribute Park in Kansas City. Both Paige and O'Neill played for the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Leagues. Paige went on to play in the majors, and both he and O'Neill are in the Baseball Hall of Fame. The giant card is one of several cards of the Negro League legends being displayed in select cities ahead of the first Major League Baseball game to be played at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Rickwood Field is the oldest professional ballpark in the U.S. and the former home of the Negro League's Birmingham Black Barons.
And we could see a few excuse me, there's something in this studio, at least. We could see a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms through the morning. We're going to be breezy west winds, or south winds initially gusting to 20. They'll switch out of the west, gusting upwards of 30 at times. About 75 by 11 o'clock this morning. Isolated to widely scattered storms continue into the afternoon. As we end the afternoon, some of those could be strong, potentially severe, with large hail being the primary concern. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Otherwise, partly cloudy, upper 70s and low 80s. Those storms will clear out as we head through the evening hours, and then we will be mostly clear overnight, relatively pleasant, back into the upper 50s and low 60s. Now, we do have an alert day tomorrow for the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms after 8 o'clock across the area. Damaging winds are the primary concern, but all hazards are possible. Those will continue overnight into Sunday morning. Could see some brief redevelopment Sunday morning before storms exit the area. We'll have a nice little pause in activity Monday and Tuesday next week before more shower and thunderstorm chances return Wednesday through Sunday. That's checking your forecast. We've got another hour of the KOAM Morning News headed your way when we come back.
Stream KOAM News now on the TV app.